Can you remember the Mohican haircut? Go back to 2002 World Cup. There was a Turkish footballer, Umit Davala. He had this hairstyle. That's probably the first time I've seen that sort of hairstyle. After that, for about good 3-4 years, our lads started keeping this Mohican style hairstyle. David Beckham kept it. So everyone thought, wow, it's cool, because all the big superstars, these guys are rich, famous, popular, therefore whatever they're doing must be right. So the way they have hairstyles, that must be right as well. And unfortunately, our young lads seeing that. They see that and they get influenced by that hairstyle. So sometimes it used to be like this and go all the way down with a little bit of ponytails hanging up. Then people were in curvy moods. Their mood was a bit bent, so the hairstyle went slightly bent. So instead of going straight down, it went like this and it flicked right under the ear. And others, it flicked the other way. That's exactly what was happening. The hairstyle was going there. And you had this little bit of hair sticking out. Little chunj at the end. Chunji, you know? Little bit of hair just sticking out of there. You think, that's ideal for his mum to grip and say, get out of bed. Pull that and he'd be out. Leave his ears, pull his hair. So my point is, why was this hairstyle being adopted? What's the most popular hairstyle today? You know what I think? I think it's the comb over. Comb over with this fake line that goes through. You can't get that, cheer. Cheery, you can't get that cheer proper, naturally. So what do? They say to the barber, listen, you get this machine, knock it through so there's a line going through my head. So he has a line going through his head. Normally you have lines when you're snorting cocaine or heroin. But these guys have got lines in their head. A line goes through their head and then they keep the top hair long and they comb over like that. I know the hairstyle. They comb over. So the hairstyle he's combing over, he'll get so much gel, put it onto his head, rub it, boom, comb over. That's it. Nobody can touch that hair now. You come anywhere near it and that's it, you've had it. Why? Because that's the hairstyle on the street right now. The other one is the Justin Bieber hairstyle, the quiff, the Johnny Bravo style. I remember that hairstyle. Johnny Bravo was the first guy who had that. Johnny Bravo, the cartoon, Johnny Bravo. They'll probably make a movie out of him. Johnny Bravo with these black shades on and he's yellow looking. With this big black hair, quiff going. And he used to have this long big, with small on the sides. Today you see young lads, they keep quiffs. Why? Maybe Justin Bieber has it. Maybe Neymar's got this hairstyle. Maybe Messi had this hairstyle. Or they just think, you know what? It's the fashion, it's the day and age that we live in. Because it's the fashion of today, we'll have that. We'll keep this hairstyle. So we are getting influenced. We look at what's happening on TV and it's influencing our decisions. That environment is influencing us. So therefore, our role model perspective of who we should be actually looking up to and who we would want to be like, that's actually, it's leaving us. It's not in our minds no more. That role model, that perspective of having that role model, the ideal role model, it's not there. Who's our ideal role model today? It's Neymar. Who's the ideal role model today? It's David Beckham, or it's Drake, or Rick Ross, or I don't know, these pop, singers, Jay-Z, Eminem. People look up to these guys. Why? Because they're rich. Because they're rich and they're famous. They've got this so-called supposedly respect. The supposed respect of the dunya. So we look up to them. We think, yeah, I want to be like that. They've got Aventadors and they've got Lamborghinis and Ferraris and they've got these big cars. They must be doing something right, otherwise they wouldn't have this. They must be doing something right. This is how young people unfortunately are starting to think. They're thinking on this line. You cannot control what happens out there. It's not possible for you to control that. Out there, they're going to be influenced by friends, they're going to be influenced by society. Environment out there is going to influence them in different ways. In different ways. At home you can. That's why tarbiyat, nurturing of children at a young age, it is such a necessary and must in today's society. If the Prophet ﷺ isn't the first individual that is put in front of the children, then who's going to be the first? It's going to be Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala and Po. It's going to be the Teletubbies. Or it's going to be, what do you call it, the other one? I mean, what do you watch the cartoons? What's the other one? Tweenies. Tweenies. At the Tweenies or the Simpsons. Bart Simpson or Homer. That's what they're going to look up to. They're going to be more influenced by South Park. They're going to look at these cartoons and I want to be like them. Look at, you stick them in front of a television box. And all they watch is Scooby-Doo. And all they see is these characters running around and cartoons, the effect that it's having on those children. Why do you think a program is called a program? It's programmed to program you. That's why it's called program. On TV you have programs, it's programming you. It's giving you a certain message. And subliminal messages are going through into that child's mind. They're seeing that. That's why censorship is something that is heavily discussed. It's heavily under discussion. What sort of censorship shall we give this movie, this computer game, this console game, this cartoon, etc. And it's important now, you've got Call of Duty censored at over 18s. And you've got 8-year-olds playing Call of Duty. What's going to happen then? This is a game for 18-year-olds, it's not for 8-year-olds. We see what our families are doing and we think, for example, very good example, weddings. You've got a wedding, they spend 30 grand, you have to spend 40 grand. They got a Bentley, you've got to get a roller. They've got a roller, you probably go get a horse. You've got to be different. The family's got to know, my shadi is unique. They've done this, they've done fireworks, they've blowing bins up. They've got to do something different to what? Prove a point. I've got to prove a point to my brother and his family that my son's wedding was the best wedding. We're too interested and embroiled in proving points to people. When, for once in your life, just prove a point to Allah. Just prove a point to Allah that you're worthy to be His servant. If only we had that mentality, just once. And once you've done it once and you found out the lazza and sweetness and the taste of it, you will continue to want to prove a point to Allah and say, forget these people. I ain't influenced by what man's are saying. I ain't influenced by what my uncle's done or my brother's done or my cousins have done. Just because they dress like that, does that mean I have to dress like that? Just because they walk in a certain way, do I have to walk in a certain way? If society starts doing bad, are you going to start doing bad or are you going to leave the good? You should continue to uphold the good. This is why positive role models. Don't be influenced by what's around you. Be influenced by what is going to help you. And that's positive role models. And that starts with your parents as role models, your siblings, and it continues then. Have friends that are positive and good for you. Good role models within your friends. Don't have friends that are good for you. Have friends that are going to be positive role models for you. What sort of friends are positive role models? You're going to have a friend that smokes bud, or he's dealing cocaine or heroin. Is that positive? Is that someone good for you? You think he's going to help you? He's going to get you on that stuff himself. You're going to be hooked on this stuff. Before you know it, your whole life's going to be destroyed. Why? Oh, he's my boy. I can't leave my boy. He's my man. We grew up together. We went nursery together. We went nursery together. We went to primary school, secondary school. We went to college. I can't leave my boy. You can't leave him because he's doing bad. You should leave him because he's doing bad. And you should save yourself first. But what do we say? We've got this mentality that, no, my boy, I can't let my boy down. Why? This sort of, and we think it's a cool mentality, man. Serious. We think it's a cool mentality. We think it's right. Bro, I can't leave my boys. If I leave my boys, what's going to happen? What are the boys going to think of me? So what? One day you've got to leave everyone behind. What are you going to do that day when you leave everyone behind? When you go to your grave on your own? Where are your boys then? Get used to it now. That doesn't mean that you stop talking to them. It means you prioritize your time. Instead of spending 4 hours at a night chatting to your boys or chilling with them, go to sleep. Rest your body. Wake up fresh in the morning so you can go out and work for your family. Prioritize. Do what's right.